Hello, my name is Chase Cavallaro, and in this video I'll be explaining 4 editing techniques that are used extensively in the film industry. These edits are known as the montage, cutting on action, J&L cut, and the smash cut. By the end of this video, I hope you understand what these edits are, how they are used, when it's best to use them, and what the viewers gain from their use. And in the future, if you do your job right, you'll be able to use these methods in your work without your audience feeling like they're suffering from your edits. This is an edit most of you might already know, as it's not only a popular edit for films, but it's also all over YouTube. The montage edit excels at giving viewers information in a short amount of time. Most montage edits contain a music track to complement what is happening on screen. One of the most memorable montage edits is the training scene in Rocky, with the theme song playing in the background. Montages, depending on the focus, can be edited in a quick or slow-paced fashion. These types of montages are used for the purpose of showing a main character advancing in a skill set, trying to improve oneself to overcome a challenge or obstacle. Montages can also be used to lay out a powerful narrative showing viewers who the character is and what has happened to said character. An excellent example of this would be Disney Pixar's Up. Every scene in the montage delivers an unfolding rush of information of his life from youth to old age, all of it without a single word. It's a powerful moment that wouldn't be the same if it wasn't for the montage edit. Citizen Kane's table scene is also a great example, showing the progression of a couple's marriage becoming increasingly distant in a very short amount of time without a single scenery change. Still conveying the same meaning, but in a much simpler and subtle way. In short, montages are a great way for editors and viewers to learn information about a character or situation in a shorter amount of time than normal, while also drawing the audience in and often causing an emotional reaction from your audience that complements the storyline. Montages can be as successful as they are versatile if you keep these 2 basic rules in mind. First, know what it is you want to get across to your audience before you decide to incorporate a montage. Don't make a montage just for the sake of making a montage. When montages are used correctly, they can add value to the narrative or compensate for an issue, such as insufficient time to fully delve into a backstory. When montages are not well thought out, they are, at best, unnecessary and at worst, counterproductive. Instead of asking yourself, where can I put this montage? First, think of a place in your story that won't work as well as you would like without special treatment, and then figure out what that special treatment should be. If a montage is what will showcase what you are trying to portray best, then you will likely be successful. Second, make sure you edit the montage so that it caters to the genre. Montages allow editors a lot of freedom, but editors should remember what it is they are editing and what would work best for its montage. The previously mentioned montage in Rocky, a sports movie, focused on faster cuts, edits, and an upbeat soundtrack to keep up with the pace of the sport itself. In Up, the montage used slower and smoother transitions with corresponding mood music to show a tragic life that started out happy, but soon devolved into problem after problem. An interesting montage comes from WALL-E, which, like Citizen Kane, uses the technique to step outside the film's genre briefly to more fully develop the main character. WALL-E's montage with Eve demonstrates his increasing romantic interest in her, which, while a side note to the movie's main purpose, does serve to add depth to Wally as well as establish a reason and purpose to their close collaboration as the movie progresses. It also injects a note of humanity into these two characters, truly a multi-purpose montage. This shows that catering to a genre can fall under a character's motives, even if those motives aren't an integral part to the main story. The key is to ensure that your montage doesn't stray too far away from the feel and tempo of the movie or character to avoid calling attention to itself and taking away from the message it is trying to get across to viewers. Cutting on action is a simple edit that nonetheless requires multiple angles of cinematography, so to pull it off correctly, it must be planned ahead of time. Cutting on action, as the name implies, is made during an action. That can be a punch, sword slash, kick, dodge, basically anything having movement.
I'm not talking about pleasure boating or day sailing. I'm talking about working for a living. I'm talking about sharking.
Cutting on action is one of the best ways to hide an edit, even though it is an edit itself. A good example of cutting on action would be the truck flip scene in The Dark Knight. Not only is this scene amazing due to its practical effects, but the cuts made enhances the scene and feels even more engaging. The edits used help push the situation forward, while adding additional cuts between each character and their reactions until the flip finally happens. To complete this effect successfully, you must always make sure that you are cutting on action at the correct arc of the movement, so that the switch to a different perspective seems to flow. An easy way to cut on action would be looking for points you can match up easily, like contact made on a punch. A common mistake with a cut on action is to wait too long before switching to a second or even third perspective, so that the action cut turns into a repetition of what has already been seen, instead of seamlessly flowing into the next. Cutting on action creates tons of engagement for the audience, but making sure the final edit flows seamlessly between multiple perspectives is the key to successfully completing this edit. J and L cuts are among the easiest cuts to make and the most common, but they can be some of the most essential edits in a film. It's especially effective when making a more static or less than dynamic scene more interesting. An L cut is when an audio track continues to play, but the visuals shown on screen change.
Vessel Alethea, LD, MOC, MD, logged and approved. Should we sample another sip before we join them upstairs?
It's called an L cut because of how it is resembled in editing software, as in this example. A J cut flips the concept, with the audio changing while the visuals continue.
Maybe heard a man, I think. Maybe he's dead, I don't know.
Where?
In Salinas, he stole a batch of my booze and he drank it.
Does this booze you make poison?
Not if you drink it, smart.
Are you trying to poison me?
No.
Where's your phone?
One of the most common and effective use of J and L cuts would be during a dialogue between two or more characters, in which the camera is never solely focused on the individual speaking. These cuts can also be used as transitions to push movies forward. They can also be used to start or even end a film.
Since wouldn't wear one up in Comanche County. I always like to hear about the old timers. Never missed a chance to do so.
viewers will understand what's going on and will appreciate a sense of continuity, even though technically the audio and visuals don't match up. The result is greater audience engagement and a more dynamic treatment of what could be. Without these cuts, just a back and forth exchange of dialogue.
I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling
Smash cuts are abrupt transitions meant to make a viewer take an unexpected jump from one reality or emotional state to another. If a movie were a color wheel, a smash cut would take you from yellow to purple or red to green. Examples could be a character waking up from a terrible dream and coming back to reality.
Shingles.
It could also be a life or death scenario, to then cut having no threats whatsoever, like in Jurassic Park 2. A great smash cut is used here, from a mother screaming after seeing her daughter attacked by dinosaurs to then cut to a tired Malcolm. Not only are the situations completely different, but the transition plays off both characters' mouths exerting different emotions, one screaming and the other yawning, drastically different emotions transitioning together. Smash cuts are also used for comedic effect, wherein a character states that he or she will not do something, only to cut showing that same character doing that very thing immediately thereafter.
I can't let him go by himself. All right, Vikings, grab your shields.
Yes! There's no way I'm getting on a boat to go after a fake dragon.
Come on! Put your backs into it, you lazy dog! Stroke!
Smash cuts can be simple, or they can add effects to even further enhance the impact of the transition. The only real key to using a smash cut is to make sure that while the viewer experiences the unexpected, abrupt change, he or she also expects that the transition is serving to jump the story forward rather than veering it off into a ditch. Smash cuts can be used in any genre, but are often a mainstay of horror and comedies. My hope is that you are now more aware of 4 popular edits used in film, and that you better appreciate their use and benefits. Without the appropriate use of some of these edits, many iconic scenes wouldn't have been nearly so memorable, nor would the story they contributed to have been as successful. While editing doesn't get as much recognition in movies, just know that not garnering credit for your edits means you more than likely did a seamless job, and that your edits did not end up taking attention away from the film itself.